And finally, the last one I'm going to put in is going to be the Texas flag. And I'll drag that in a couple seconds early, unlink it, delete the audio. I'm going to change my zoom because my song ends here, so I want the video of the flag to end in the same place. And I also want to have this flag as it comes in. It starts off kind of, I'd say small, regular size, but then as it comes in, I want it to, I want to zoom in on it, okay? Or as it starts to fade out. So it's going through to basically 134. So I'm going to say at about 120, we'll just go ahead, I'm going to make it 130. So it's going to have 4 seconds then where it will, I'm going to set a keyframe not just for scale so that I can zoom on it, but also for position because I may need to move it a little bit. So I have that starting one, and then I'm going to scroll to the end. Whoops, and then I can use the arrows on my keyboard to get it to the exact last keyframe right there. And I'm going to put in keyframes for both, again, position and scale. And then I can double click on it and I can zoom in. And I might not actually need to move it, but I can if I want to. And there I'm going to have zooming in at the end, right there. Okay. Now, at the very end, instead of having this just abruptly stop, I want it to fade out as well. I don't want it, I don't want to have that abrupt stop of the audio or the video. So I'm going to go back to that 129 point. Whoops. Oh no, sorry, I guess that was 130 where I did that. Let me get there again. 130. And my audio, I want to use my effects on the audio so that I can just change the volume. So I'm going to come here to level and I'm going to put in a keyframe. And then if I go out to, and this is going to be 400, so that's the last keyframe or last frame. Put in another keyframe and whoops, bring it down there. And if I expand that track, I can see the line where I'm bringing it down, and I can play it and I can hear the fade out. Okay, now I'm going to do the exact same thing, oops, with the video. So I'm going to go back to that 130 and click on the Texas flag, and I have opacity down here. I'll set a keyframe and then I will go to the end and I will set another keyframe, and then the opacity is going to be, I'm not sure if I want it to be completely faded out, seeing as how I'm maybe completely fade out. Okay, and you have that option. It doesn't have to go all the way, but for that particular one I chose to do that. Okay, before you export it, you should click on the play and play it all the way through to make sure that you have transitions where they may be needed, to see where you have gaps, if you need to close any gaps. and to make sure everything works the way it should. And once you do, then you are going to also make sure that your video actually ends at the end of the song. If it continues to play, that means you've got some stray clip in there somewhere. So then you're going to export media. Let me try that again. And ideally, we want H.264 and we'll do Vimeo 720, and then you can hit export. Since it's a minute and a half, it'll take a couple of minutes to do the export, so you can move on to do something else while that's working.